What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Makindra, if you do not already know. Today we are going to be doing my labor story. I kind of just wanted to give you guys a video since I couldn't give you a vlog. They weren't allowing any videos being recorded or even for me to FaceTime family or anything like that, even with the coronavirus stuff going on. So I thought I would just go ahead and do a labor story for you guys. Go ahead and give me a like and subscribe if you have not already. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, for starters, you might hear Miss Chaylee in the background. She might get a little fussy, so she might be featured in this video today. Obviously, I'll introduce you guys to her anyways because this is about her birth. Okay, so just to start off this video, I was induced April 26th at 9 p.m. I had to be there at 9 p.m. That was so cute. That was a yawn hiccup. Okay, so my induction was planned for 9 p.m. So we left the house around 8 o'clock. No, we had to call at 8 o'clock. We left around 8:30, got there about 9. And so we didn't really get settled in or anything like that until around like 10 p.m. where I got like my gown on and all of that good stuff. They got me hooked up to the monitors, etc. Just minor stuff like that. By 11 p.m. they gave me a medicine. I do not know the name of it. I'm so sorry. I don't know the names of any of these medications. There was just so much being thrown at me and I really just was not paying attention to the medications that they were giving me because they talked about a lot of different medications all at once, so it just was really confusing for me. But they did give me a medicine to first start off to soften my cervix, since my cervix was still really hard when I got admitted. I hadn't progressed any, even though I was almost 40 weeks. I would have been 40. I was 38 and 5 days. So they gave me this medication to soften my cervix, and it just kind of bless you. This is really hard to record and do all this at once. I'm currently recording at like 10 o'clock at night. No, 11 o'clock at night. It's 11:17. I don't even know where the time is going. So by 11 p.m. they gave me the medication to soften my cervix and to see if that would help me progress any on my own before they gave me any type of Pitocin or anything like that to actually induce the labor. So we just kind of relaxed in the room for a while. We watched some That So 70 show and just kind of tried to get some sleep. I mean, considering I probably was going to be up, you know, in pain all night or day or whatever. By 3 a.m. I was starting to have contractions and I would like breathe through them. They weren't as bad. They just felt like minor like period cramps, I want to say. Really didn't start getting like really strong until like around 3:30. So about 30 minutes later, they started getting really intense and I was really starting to feel them. I got out of bed to go to the bathroom, and then after that I just kind of just stayed out of bed. I just kind of rocked and swayed a lot. I wish I had footage, I really do. Funny thing is that my contractions actually never stopped. Like they would go at its peak, come down, and then immediately start to trail back up from its peak, go down, and it just kept fluctuating like that. I never actually got like a solid like minute to like breathe. That's kind of like what we were struggling with. I had that for about 2 hours, so around 5 o'clock in the morning the nurse came in and she was just basically telling me what I just explained to you, that my contractions actually, they weren't stopping. And I was like, no kidding, because I could feel them, you know, I was in pain and they were pretty intense. But she was explaining to me that because the contractions didn't give me any break, that means that it wasn't giving the baby any break. So her heart rate would start to drop after the contractions decline. And so that's kind of something that they were really worried about. They were really fixated on it. And so she advised that we stop my contractions or try to. So they ended up giving me a shot. I cannot remember the name of the medication. Again, I'm so sorry. It was a shot to stop my contractions, and so this helped a little bit. And meanwhile, they also, right before this, they gave me some medication to help ease with the pain because I was in a lot of pain for those 2 hours. So they ended up giving me a little bit of pain reliever just to help take the edge off of the pain, and so that helped for a little bit. And then they ended up giving me that shot in my arm for me to stop my contractions, to give the baby a break. By 6 o'clock in the morning, the contractions actually came back on their own. So yeah, by 6 o'clock, so remember that all happened at 5 o'clock in the morning. By an hour later, the contractions came back stronger. I didn't think that they could get stronger, but they did. They came back even stronger, and they came back on their own. So again, remember, she gave me a shot to stop my contractions, and for the most part, they did. They were very, very faint. I could still feel them for that hour long, but I was able to sleep through them, so it wasn't anything intense. But then by 6 o'clock, they came back, and they came back strong. Oh my gosh, they were pretty intense. But when they checked me, I had dilated to a 1, which was nice, and my cervix actually became really, really soft. The nurses were actually really, really surprised that this happened because it just all happened really, really fast. At the same time, I ended up taking another pain reliever medication. Again, I don't know the name. I took the same one that I took the first time, which was around 5 o'clock in the morning. So I just ended up taking another shot to see if that would help subside the pain a little bit, because again, my contractions, they never stopped. They were consistent. Like, they would again have its peak, come down, and then trail right back up to its peak, come down. It was like waves, okay? It was not a pretty sight to see or feel. And so yeah, I know, huh? So I ended up just getting another shot because I wasn't ready for the epidural just yet. By 8 a.m. they checked me again. I was still at a 1, but my cervix was completely soft. I can just tell you, I remember being so infuriated and upset. I had just been in so much pain. I really wanted to just be able to like dilate. I wanted her to come. I was just in pain. I was trying to do it all natural for as long as I could, but to hear that I was still at a 1 forever, it felt like, anyways, a lot of women go through a lot more, have longer labors than I had, obviously. But the medication that I had taken, it had worn off so quick, and so I was just, at that point, I was just tired. I was done. I just wanted her to come out already. The pain was unreal. I never felt pain like that before. But by 10 a.m. they checked me again, and I was still at a 1. So immediately I was just like, I want the epidural. Like, I was in pain. I was crying. I was screaming. There's no easy way to explain to anybody what that pain feels like. I mean, it feels like cramps, but like intense cramps, like something that you cannot get rid of. You know how sometimes when you're on your period and you're having really bad cramps, you can like lay in bed and a position will make you feel better? No, nothing would make me feel better. I tried bouncing on the ball. Nothing was helping. Nothing was helping with the pain. I was feeling it all on my back, all in the front. It was just everywhere. I was feeling it everywhere. When I asked for the epidural, they ended up just giving me that 3rd dose of that shot for the pain reliever to see if that would help a little bit, even though the 2nd shot really didn't help all that much. I mean, it did in the beginning, but then it went away like that. They ended up giving me that because they knew the epidural would take a minute, and I was in a lot of pain, and they could tell. And actually, the nurse had to go ask the doctor to see if I could even get the epidural because I was only at a 1. But they were really worried because of the amount of stress that the baby was under. They wanted to do everything that they could to, like, you know, help that process, to help the baby, you know, not be under so much stress, as well as me, because I needed a break. I wasn't getting any. So even though I was still at a 1 at 10 o'clock in the morning, they still ordered the epidural. They came in, they gave it to me, and let me tell you, that stuff is amazing. And I didn't even feel it going in. Like, the guy was so good. I was literally having a contraction, staying as still as I could, laying on my side, and he just did his thing, and it was so easy. Another thing is, I was worried about the catheter. I didn't feel a thing. Did not feel a thing, and I was so worried that I was going to. For some reason, I don't know why I was more scared of that than the epidural going in my back, but I was. So by 11 a.m. I got the epidural, and I was feeling really good. I was very calm. We were watching TV in the room. 11 as well, I actually felt my water break. I felt a gush just like whoosh come out of me. It kind of felt like I was on my period and you have like a really heavy flow and it just kind of comes out. It's kind of what it felt like, but a little bit more, like a extra heavy flow. And by that time, the nurse also checked me and she was like, oh, you're at a 6. So in an hour, I went from a 1 to a 6, which is insane. I was not expecting that. The nurse was actually really surprised that I had dilated so much so quick. And then by 11:30, just 30 minutes later, I was dilated at a 9. And again, the nurse brought in another nurse with her, and they were shocked. They were telling me, you know, if I ever have any more kids, that I need to you know, if my water ever breaks or if I'm going into labor on my own, then I need to get to the hospital ASAP because I just have babies fast, especially as a first-time mom. So they were like, if you ever have any more kids, you need to get to the hospital like ASAP. Shortly after that though, after 11:30, they started wheeling in all of the incubators for the baby, you know, like the heat lamp and stuff, and then also like the lights that they need for when I start pushing. And they started getting my bed, you know, prepared, just because I didn't know that the bottom half of the hospital beds came apart like that, but I was not expecting it. Then we just kind of waited until it was time for me to push after they wheeled in all of that stuff. So they kind of just left us alone for a little while, let us relax. By 12 o'clock, I started feeling a lot of pressure, and I told my aunt, I was like, I'm feeling a lot of pressure when these contractions like get to the peak. Like I'm feeling like I need to push, you know. And she's like, do I need to call the nurse? And I was like, no, you know, like, let's just wait. Maybe it's nothing, you know, maybe it's just the contraction and the pressure that I'm feeling. So I didn't think it was like her coming out, you know. By 12:15, I started feeling it even more, and I was like, okay, well, we need to tell her, I think. So we ended up calling the nurse, and she came in and checked me, and I was at a 10. So I was ready to start doing my practice pushes. So that's what we started doing. We started doing some practice pushes, and she said she started seeing the baby come. So she said, okay, wait, let me go get the doctor. So she went and called the doctor. The doctor came, everybody started coming in. There were so many nurses that came in. I was just shocked by how many there were. So when the doctor came in, they kind of explained the situation that we were having. So since the baby was under stress and her heart rate would drop after every contraction, they were really worried, you know, that maybe her umbilical cord was wrapped around her neck, which, you know, is normal. It doesn't happen to every baby, but it is a normal thing that they have to deal with sometimes. So they were like, when you push, you need to like get her out fast. So in my head, I was like in fight or flight mode. I was like, okay, well, we got to do our thing. We got to get her out. They were just explaining to me, like, when you push, you need to like push hard. We need to get her out as fast as we can. You know, we can't have the baby under any more stress. So by 12:40 p.m., I was pushing to get her out, which is so insane that I pushed a baby out of me, which is, I just can't wrap my head around it. It took less than 20 minutes for me to get her out with only 12 pushes. Like, I'm telling you guys, like, I was really pushing hard, okay? On my last push though, they did have to suction her out just because the doctor was just so worried that because her heart rate just kept dropping so low and it wasn't really rising. So she was like, okay, I'm gonna have to suction her out if you can't get her out on this last one. So I pushed, and on the like 11th time, and she didn't come out. So the doctor kind of had to help me out in a sense. So she was suctioned out on that last push, but I was able to do most of the work, which is great. By 12:57, she was born. Oh my gosh, she was born on April 27th, 12:57, 20 inches long, and 7 pounds 8 ounces. So she was a pretty decent sized baby, I will have to say. Oh yeah, it was just an amazing experience. You know, when you're going through all of it, you really don't notice everything that's happening. Like, my aunt would like tell me stuff that would happen, or if a nurse came in or whatever. It was just, you just don't even think about it. You're so into your body and trying to focus on yourself and the pain that you really don't even worry about what's going on around you. You just kind of worry about yourself and the baby, which is really weird. It's kind of like you're in this like your own little world in your head, you know what I mean? So yeah, so Miss Chaylee, and oh my gosh, I have a baby. You guys, I'm a mom now. Oh my god. I just want to say thank you to everybody who has followed me on my journey and knows about my past and what I went through. And if you don't, then I'll go ahead and leave like a little card up above. I can't remember which side it's on, so I will leave a card up above for you guys to go ahead and watch that video if you have not already seen it. I want to thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for following me on this journey with my baby. Like, I grew a human being inside of me, which is just insane to ever think about. And to all of you people, or moms or dads, or people who have just found out that they're having a baby, or people who are watching a labor video or labor story video because they're about to have a baby. It's incredible. It's an incredible thing, and honestly, I wouldn't change it for the world. I do have a postpartum video coming for you guys. I hope that's something that you would be interested in watching. I also have a day in a life of a newborn, so if you're interested in seeing those types of videos, then go ahead and leave a like and comment down below which one you would like to see. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you have not already. I would love to have you guys a part of the family and watching Miss Chaylee grow up. And thank you guys so much if you have followed along from the beginning. I literally can't say it enough. Like, you've seen it all, you've heard it all, you've heard what I've gone through. It's just an incredible thing, and I am so blessed and so happy. Oh, say hi, baby. Oh, no. Alright, thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a great night or day wherever you guys are, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye.
Did you ever stop and think, why spend too much time just getting ready?